Right, there's one, there's two, and there's three. Okay, let's do it. My name is Israel Smith, and this is my persuasive speech. Today I'm going to talk about sagging and why you should not sag. I'm going to talk about three things that have to do with sagging. The first thing I'm going to tell you about the origins of sagging. I'm going to tell you about how you look when you sag, and I'm going to tell you about the health and the legal impacts of sagging. All right. Sagging is thought to begin in the late 80s or the early 90s in the prison system. And it was as a result of the men being issued clothing and uniforms that was too big for them. And they weren't able to have belts because belts was considered to be, they could use them as a weapon. So they would walk around the yard and walk around the dorms and everything, and they would have to pull their pants up. So over time, it became a fad. It became fashion, so to speak, in the prison system. It was also a sign that if you were a homosexual, I guess you would say, that if you showed your underwear, that it would be as an invite to other men. So that became like a sign that, you wanted to invite, you wanted, some attention, I guess you would say. The second thing I'm going to talk about is what you look like when you sag. Now, I don't sag. I'm kind of grown, so I don't do any sagging. But I got a pair of jeans here, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when you sag. This is what it looks like. Now, just think these are my, my underwear. So when you sag, that's what you look like. You look kind of ridiculous. And you shouldn't be sagging unless you are a rap star or something. And also, when you sag, let me sag a little here. When you sag, you tend to walk and hold your pants up while you're walking, which kind of defeats the purpose of sagging in the first place. Because if you're holding your pants up and you don't want them to fall, why are you sagging in the first place? That's kind of ridiculous. You need to put a belt on. That's just the look of it. And that kind of, you kind of walk like a duck and, you're kind of wobbling and everything. So that kind of looks ridiculous. And the third thing I'm going to speak on are the health and the legal impacts of sagging. Some of the health issues are because you sag, you kind of lean forward and lean over, and it can cause lower back issues. And it can cause pelvic issues over time if you sag for a long amount of time. And some of the legal issues that I read in the Wall Street Journal that a lot of cities these days are enacting laws against sagging. They're basically public, like almost to the in the lines of like public nudity and things along those lines. So there are a lot of people getting arrested and getting small misdemeanor criminal records and having to pay fines because they're sagging. So that's the third reason that you might want to consider not to sag. Now, I've given you three reasons not to sag, to try to persuade you from sagging. The first one is the origins of it. Do you really want to be associated or thought of in that manner? The second reason is the way you look, And the third reason are the health and the legal impacts of sagging. Thank you for listening, and I appreciate your time. Thank you. That's the 1, 2, and 3.